I've been trying really hard not to get too excited for spring. We got about 6 inches of snow a couple days ago, and today it looks like most of it has already melted. When I went to turn Skeletor out for the day, I could tell that he wasn't feeling very good. We have been dealing with a bit of a mystery lameness with him, and today he just looked extra down. He was walking alright, but when I asked him to trot to see how lame he was, he really did not want to. He looked really sore. He trotted a few steps each direction, and I decided that he didn't really need to do any more. Skeletor is really easy to read. He is not stoic like a lot of the other horses. If he is having a bad day, all he's going to want to do is snuggle you. I did walk him up and down the driveway a few times just to loosen him up, and he was able to trot a little bit sounder. He seems to do so much better when he's allowed to move around in a big open space on his own. I think being in a stall, even though it has a run, is restricting his movement a little bit too much. We don't have any really cold days coming up, so I think I might start leaving him out in the little arena all day long. And hopefully that'll prevent him from getting a little bit stove up like he was today. Every time I get a horse like Skeletor in with an unknown background and a kind of mystery lameness like this, it can be really hard to decide how much diagnostics to do on one single horse. He has had x-rays on both of his back legs, along with a thorough lameness evaluation. But his problem is almost certainly related to the big part of muscle that is abnormal on his right hip. Instead of throwing a bunch of money away on diagnostics that are not really going to change our treatment plan, I am going to go ahead and invest my money in some more therapies for him. Skeletor may never be able to be ridden, but it's important for me to be able to find the combination of things that make him the most comfortable so he can live a semi-normal life as a pasture pet if that is what's needed. Skeletor does require a bunch of mental stimulation throughout the day, or he turns into a little monster. I have noticed that on his new diet he is starting to grow again, and he is getting a ton of extra energy. Studman has been growing pretty tired of his shenanigans, so I gave him a break and turned him out in the other arena today. But it didn't take very long for Skeletor to figure out something to do with his time while he was away from Studman. When I very first got Skeletor, he did get turned out with Frisco Bill. And I'm thinking that maybe in the future I'll turn them out together. Frisco won't put up with his nonsense like Studman will.
Skeletor!
And Skeletor is definitely needing some more herd manners. When spring finally rolls around, he will be able to go out with the herd and be on pasture grass, which I think is going to be really beneficial for him. I felt a little bad for him standing out there all alone just playing with the dang tumbleweed, so I decided to play with him for a little bit. Compared to all of the other horses, he is definitely a bit of a high maintenance horse, which I'm not really used to. Most of the horses I get in are fine to hang out in the pasture by themselves, and if I don't ever come and see them, I think they would be just fine. Skeletor is definitely the kind of horse that craves attention from humans. Skeletor has been accumulating a bunch of different toys from you guys. He is definitely like that little kid that always wants something new and will play with it nonstop for a few days and then forget about it until he's on to the next thing. But this is definitely his new favorite toy. I think he really likes chewing on it since he has those two incisors coming in right now. He tried to get the other horses to play with him last time I put this ball in with him, but they were not really into it. I have never had a horse that likes to play as much as Skeletor.
Skeletor.
All of these toys have been really nice because I can play with him and watch how he moves. That little bunny hop he did while he was loping is a pretty big sign of SI joint pain. One thing that I am very aware of with these neglected horses is their body posture. And Skeletor's has never been really good. He does have a negative palmar angle on his hind feet. I have been slowly changing it with some trimming, but there's only so much you can do until you have to put shoes on. I do have a special pair of glue-on shoes for him, and I'm waiting on the wedges that go inside, and that is probably going to help him with whatever SI joint pain he has going on. A lot of you guys have asked if he has seen a chiropractor. The vet that I like to use does not come out this way until March, so we are on her list when she starts traveling again. It should end up being perfect timing because I will have had Skeletor shoes on for a few weeks. I'll be able to have adjusted them if needed, and I'll be able to tell if it's been making any difference in his posture and hopefully his lameness. I don't know if it's because Skeletor has a lot of extra energy these days or what, but he's being a lot more aggressive to Goose and Whiplash than he has in the past. He has actually been breaking a lot of those rails in between their dry lot and the arena.
Skeletor.
And today he broke another one. The one that was underneath it, he kept getting his feet caught on, so I didn't ever put it back up. But I am definitely going to have to stop what I'm doing for the day and fix this so the horses don't harpoon themselves on it. These really aren't that thick, so it's not a surprise that Skeletor keeps breaking them. I probably should just stop turning him out next to these guys because he always has trouble behaving himself. He hasn't been turned out very long and he's already wanting to come in for dinner, so I'm going to leave him turned out the whole entire time I fix the rails.
Hey, 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 hey.
I did lock him in this little round pen inside the arena so he didn't hurt himself. He is just having a lot of trouble today keeping his tiny brain occupied. I do have a bunch of extra rails, and when I went over to get some, I found Tiny hunting a few mice. She was really on high alert. There are gophers that like to hide under this pile. And it has been pretty warm, so the mice should be coming out pretty soon. I am going to go ahead and replace these two rails that are down. I would really like to find out what it is I started feeding him that has been making him a little bit more crazy. He has just lost all of his patience and he's become kind of a little bit of a stinker. Skeletor got a few hours of turnout while I cleaned stalls and repaired all of the things that he broke. I took a short little break to snuggle Tiny. I fed everybody and went out to get Skeletor to bring him in for dinner. He had finally settled down, but he was definitely ready to come in. Sometimes I wish I had a few less horses so I could spend some more time with the ones that really liked hanging out with humans. Skeletor is the kind of horse that if he was your only horse, he would never get tired of you. I could totally see him being the kind of horse that a teenager spends like every waking moment with. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't figured out how to get these undone. They are a little bit snug, but I think if I leave him in here too many more times, he will figure it out. I am a little bit late today feeding dinner. Studman let me know right away that it was unacceptable he hadn't had his ration balancer yet. Studman is convinced he's starving pretty much all of the time. By the time Skeletor had gotten his dinner, he seemed to be quieting down quite a bit. I did order this guy some stabilized rice bran pellets to hopefully help him get a little bit more calories that won't make him so crazy. All of the other horses are already fed, so I am done for the night. I hope this gave you guys your Skeletor fix for the next couple days. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for the next video.